Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Mike Colleen, MikeColleen.com, and this is the #1 manifestation secret that you can learn that will amplify your ability to manifest. Let's get our bougie candle going real quick here for you fire starters. I don't know if you're actually a fire starter, but who knows, maybe you are. There you go. Just real quick. Gotta grab some newer stuff in the back. Get our sage going here. Go. All right, let's get right to it. Okay, it's gonna be a quick video. All right, so I don't know. This was about so I started noticing that my prayers would come true. People around me noticed that too. But here's the problem that I had that I bet you've had too, or maybe have now. I would have a hard time believing that it was actually my prayer that did it. Okay. So here's what I did, and I think someone told me, and I've heard this before, but I think someone just made me do it. They're like, go buy a small journal right now and write down what you want to manifest, what you want to pray for. Every time you pray for something, write it in the notebook. So it was something very similar to this one. And I'm telling you to do this too. Get something like this, okay? And don't write down every single freaking thing. Write down 10 things that you want, or maybe 5 or 7 or 12, and then or maybe just write down one prayer at a time. Let's say there's 2 or 3 things you want, but write it down. But you've got to really pray for it. And the #1 key is to imagine having it like you're holding it in your hand, or if you want a brand new car, like you're sitting in the car and you could smell the new car smell, or the leather seats, and you start it and you could feel the engine, you could hear the engine running, etc. Okay, so that's called being associated. You have to, like you're sitting in the car, or you're holding the object, okay, or you're sitting on it, or whatever. Okay, so here's what happened for me. I want to make this really quick. All I know is I wrote my prayers down. I started writing them down. So I had, I don't know, 15 or 18, or I don't remember how many I had exactly. And I kind of forgot about it. And I did forget about it. And then I saw this on my shelf over there. It's actually the same shelf, a different place where I lived. And I said, you know what? I'm going to open that thing up. And I'm like, oh, wow, I did get that car. It's like, holy shit. So I checked that one off, or I think I scratched it over. Oh, I got this and I got that. Oh, this happened, and I'm dating a beautiful girl now, and I got this. And it's like, oh, like 90% of all my prayers that came true. All of them. Not all of them, but like 90% came true. Here's what happened to my mind, and this will amplify it for you. All of a sudden, I started realizing, holy shit, this is actually real. This actually works. Now, people would be like, yeah, but Michael, almost every time you pray for something, it happens. Like, why are you suddenly getting it now? It's because honestly, and I think this is what happens to you, or had in the past, is you imagine having something, you pray for it, and then you forget about it, and then a month later or whatever, it happens, and you don't really make the connection, right? And so you don't really, here's the key word, you don't really believe that it works. You think, well, yeah, that was like a month ago or 2 months ago, and you lose the connection. But when you write it down, it's in here, and when you look at it, you're like, because now it's like this was written months ago, or weeks ago, or whatever, and you're like, wow. And then and when it's more than one, you're like, oh wow, there's something to this. Now here's what happens to your spirit, or your brain, or your emotions. You start to believe and realize, wait, this really does work. And that's when it started to amplify for me. That's when I started manifesting more, creating more things in my life, and on and on and on. Okay. So that is my top #1 secret that I will give to you. I highly recommend that you do that, because it's kind of like Jesus says in the Bible, if ye believe, you shall receive whatever you ask for in prayer. When you start seeing things happen, all of a sudden you get amplified to a higher level. And you can start manifesting bigger things. And that's another part of manifesting. Okay, I'll give you one. I remember I used to pray like, God, I just want to find some money because one of the things like I never found money like ever, and my brother always found like $200 and $20 and $50, and I was like, what the hell, man? And I never did, and I just wanted, God, just let me find some money. Well, I found like $1 and some change, like whatever. And then when I was doing this, it was after I had this. I thought like I imagined having like $1,000. Well, it didn't come true because it didn't feel like I could have it. The feeling wasn't there. So then one night I thought, no, $20. I want a $20 bill. That's realistic. See, the realistic level really depends on what you believe in your system. Some people believe like, well, I'm going to receive $5,000, and to them that can be very realistic. So whatever your level of realism is, and what happens is, I went for a walk. I literally prayed that night. Like, I just imagined having $20 and I found it in the street, and I forgot about it. I think I was watching TV, and all of a sudden I got this urge to get up and go for a walk. It was about, I think, 10 o'clock or midnight, or it was pretty late. And I went for this walk, and I wasn't even thinking about it. I totally forgot about the prayer. I didn't think it was going to manifest that fast anyways. Thought maybe in a week or something, 2 weeks. I find a crisp, fresh $20 bill in the street. And that became a real strong believer for me. Built up my foundation of belief. Now, here's a real important one. Hold on. So this was after my car accident, and I was pretty messed up. I got run over by a car about 12 and a half years ago. And this was about 5 or 6 years later, and I was in massive pain, and my head injury still hadn't healed very well. And I was struggling hard, and I was just down and out. And I just prayed, God, just give me a sign, just anything, and I'll keep going. I swear, something, just anything. And the thing is, when you pray from your heart, that's when manifestations happen. So all of a sudden, I saw an image of a card, a 10 of hearts, a red 10 of hearts, and I didn't really think, it was kind of like, it just kind of popped into my head real quick. I didn't really think anything of it. I thought, whatever, So well, that's kind of weird, And so again, I sat down and I got on YouTube, or I was watching TV, or I don't remember what I was doing, but I got the urge to go for a walk. And what happened was, the route that I take goes by the place where I get run over by a car, and I always do a little bit of prayer right there. And so as I was walking, guess what was about 10 or 15 feet away from where I got hit by the car? This card. Yeah, this very card. I keep it up there on my way out, and whenever I have any doubt, I just reach up and touch it, because this was like the one thing that I needed to know beyond a shadow of a doubt, that there was a God, that there was something. And I keep this because that when I saw that, I was like, oh, you got to be effing kidding me. I picked it up off the ground, and I was like, oh, I looked like, okay, I believe beyond a shadow of a doubt. So manifestation is absolutely true. So when you write it down and you start seeing, I did another one fairly recently. I made a video about 3-4 months ago. Maybe it was in January. I don't remember. It was a little while back. And I wrote down, I did that water. It's called water magic, I think it's called, where you go from, you have a glass of water, you write down where you're at, right, on a piece of paper. Write down like 5 things: how much money you make, where you live, your vehicle, and 1 or 2 other things, and you put it on a piece of paper. So this is where you're at, and you got a cup of water, and you put it over that, and then you got another piece of paper, and you write on there what you want. Well, I want this kind of car. I want to be making this much money. Like, one of the things I put down was I wanted a brand new iPhone 13, and I wanted a super good deal on it. Ridiculously, like, you got to be kidding me, right? And I wrote that down, and I forget what else I wrote down on that. And so what happened was, about 3 weeks later, my phone company calls and say, hey, we're going to 5G. You got to upgrade your phone because it's not 5G compatible. I'm like, hey, I can't afford it. I'm not going to do that. No way, man. And so they said, well, I tell you what, we'll sell it to you for this. I was like, are you joking? At first I held it. I was like, nah. And then the next month they said, we're going to give you another $100 off. I'm like, are you kidding me? I bought it because it's $200. I thought, what? And then I saw this, and I remember I wrote it down. I looked, it's like, wow, I've got 3 of those goals already. So what it does is, when you achieve those goals and you see it written down, it becomes very real. You remember, I did that. And then what happens is, now Before you couldn't find any money, now you found $1 and some change, and then you find that $20 and you're like, okay, this is real. So now for me, manifesting 20 bucks is nothing. Okay. So now you can go to the next level. What if I get like 300 bucks? What if I find $300? Or what if someone just hands it to me? Or what if something comes in the mail like, oh, you know, you're some company like, oh, you overpaid us. This actually happened to me in a manifestation. Some company said that I had overpaid them. I'm like, no, I didn't. And I didn't overpay them. So they gave me this chunk of money. It was quite a bit actually. Let's see what else. It was close to 1,500 bucks. I can give you a ton of manifestations that I've done. So what I'm saying is you begin to go up and you begin to raise your level. So all of a sudden getting a cell phone is not that big of a deal. Like, yeah, I can manifest it if I have to. I do it with my computer every 3 years because I like getting a new computer every 3 years. Even when I'm totally broke, I'm like, I need to get a computer. This has to happen. Hey, this is Mike Colleen at MikeColleen.com. I hope this helps you and I hope you enjoy it. Oh, let me finish the water one. So you write down on one piece of paper where you're at right now, right? Like the top 5 things, how much money you make or have, where you live, your vehicle, and your type of cell phone, let's say, and then maybe one other thing. And you take a glass of water and you put it on top of that. And then on this one over here, you write down 5 things that you want, cell phone or a certain amount of money every month or whatever, and you put an empty glass of water on that, all right? So then what you do is you take this glass of water and you pour it over into this one, and then you take this glass of water on this one over here and you drink it. And the one thing is you imagine having those manifestations, okay? And it's like you're drinking in the new stuff, and now that becomes a part of who you are. And now it's just like, this is who you are and this is what you are, what you have, I want to say. And then what you do is you take that piece of paper and you burn it up, okay? That's one of the things about water magic. I'm going to leave it at that. And this is Mike Colleen, MikeColleen.com. I'll leave the video at that. I did a video on that earlier, so if you really want me to do a video on water magic, I'll go over it one more time. God bless you guys. See you in the next video. Bye.